Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Stuart. Stuart is from England in the UK. So let's see what Stuart has to say. Enjoy the interview.
Hear me now.
Yes, now I can.
How you doing, buddy?
Hello Stuart, I'm very well. How are you doing today?
Yeah, good. It's not a great day outside, but hey, one of those things. So
How's the weekend going so far?
I've had family here. They left about an hour ago.
Mhm.
So it was good. But it's always nice to have the place to yourself as well. So that's what it's called. So
Amazing. Do you have like during the weekend, do you have like a usual routine or something that you do every weekend, or it depends how it goes?
well, this place that we've moved into now, we only moved here 6 weeks ago.
Okay.
So this is still very, very new to us. Previously, with our old house, yeah, we did have a routine. If the weather was good, we'd do a lot of gardening, some gym, try and get out and about if we could, but we weren't necessarily homebirds, but we did spend probably the majority of our time here at home. So yeah.
I see. When you say we, you say you have a partner as well.
Yeah, my other half, we've been together 23 years. So
My God, congratulations, 23 years.
we
Wow.
got yeah, we met in 2000. We got married in well, a civil partnership in 2008. So yeah, it's a long time.
Wow, beautiful. I feel so happy when I see, gay guys in a long-term relationship. I think it's beautiful to see, the gay scene is quite difficult. It's not difficult, but I would say it's quite um not common to find, guys or with long relationship. And I just find amazing. 23 years old. Congratulations. Wow.
Thank you.
What's
You
the
want
secret?
what's the secret? Whoa, compromise probably. Um, there's always times I think in any relationship where it's not necessarily a power play, but I think someone likes to have the upper hand at times, and everyone likes getting their own way. But if you can really learn to compromise, I think
Mhm.
that's the main thing. Just thinking, okay, now's a good time to keep my mouth shut and be civil, not I would maybe have said years ago. And I think as you get older, that gives you a very different outlook on it all as well. So
Not long ago, I had an interview with a lovely man from Los Angeles, and he's been together for 28 years. I was like,
oh,
wow, yes.
so I won't be the top guy today with the longest number of years under my belt.
Tell me where you're from, Stuart.
So I'm from London. From East London. I'd lived in London up until I was 35.
Mhm.
We moved out a little bit further east, and now we live down not too far from the coast in the south of the UK.
I see. What was the best part of growing up in London, in your opinion, East London?
Growing up in London, I think you just felt that it was an exciting place to grow up. It was good for friends because actually the area that I was in, the neighborhood I was in, there were lots of couples who had kids the same age as me and my sister. So there always seemed to be someone to play with, which was good. You never kind of thought, oh, what are we going to do today? There was always I was very lucky that one of the kids that lived next door was literally one day younger than me.
Wow.
And so there was stacks of stuff that we used to do together. Crazy games that we'd make up in the garden. Yeah.
Tell me, I believe you're a photographer, yeah, Stuart?
Now I am, yeah. So I studied photography years and years ago when I was 17 to 19. I was a police officer in London. I retired from that, and after retiring, I decided to do something completely different. So a lot of people that I used to work with, a lot of ex-colleagues, they would go into some kind of security work or even remain in the police in maybe a civil role. But I just decided that once I'd done my time, I was like, no, I didn't want to do anything remotely similar to police work again. Um, it was a good career.
Hmm.
It made you a certain kind of person, but I love doing something creative. So for me, being a photographer now is sometimes I think, why didn't I do it sooner? But you can never second guess what's going to happen. So
My God, you were a policeman in the past, a policeman career. My goodness, I'm glad you mentioned that. Through the journey, I'm going to explore a little bit more about both careers, okay?
no worries at all.
Stuart, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Yeah, go ahead. This is going to be unique. I'm looking
Uh,
forward to it.
Amazing. Welcome to William, the Magic Box. So I've got here my best friend, okay? Okay, full of fun questions. I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to relax a bit before the first question, okay?
No worries at all.
Let's do it. Hey Stuart, before we start the game, during the join, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
No problems, no worries.
Right. First question for you is, what scares you the most about your future?
Um, I wouldn't want to get old and be unhealthy. I think as you do get old, you notice certain things happen with your body, and you're not as flexible as you used to be. Some things change, like I mean, your eyesight. Well, that can be quite kind of a big thing to take on board as you get older. Yeah, I don't want to. I would hate the idea of getting old and being in pain or not being able to enjoy getting older because of ill health.
Aging for you is something that bothers you or it's just a matter of life?
It doesn't bother me. I think it's very much, one of those things that you have to accept as you get older.
Mhm.
I think it's easier to be in your 40s and 50s now. Although social media can be quite cruel in some senses, for people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, you have a lot more visibility now. So you can be as relevant as you want. You can be out there as much as you want. And so I think that although I have a real love-hate relationship with social media,
Mhm.
there are aspects of it which make it easier for you to be seen as someone who is getting older.
It's interesting you saying that about social media because I see the same way as well. I think social media overall they try to sell perfection, what doesn't exist, yeah. But at the same time as well, since I started doing the show, I've had so many guests on the show from different ages, different parts of the world, and also expressing themselves in social media in a way that I've never seen before. And it's so fascinating to see so many people supporting, not the perfection, but people sharing their real life, sharing their, age or the way things that they do. So I think that's the fascinating part about social media. And I think people nowadays, they are so more connected with this reality than the perfection on the side, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think the perfection side and the strive to be something is um is a bit dangerous. And I'm glad that, when I had like my
Mhm.
teenagers, my 20s, you didn't have anything like that could get into your head and make you think, oh, I'm not worthy of this. It is quite strange that when I was growing up, you'd be familiar with women who felt that they didn't kind of meet the expectation of what, say, society wanted or aspects of society. So
Mhm.
women felt that they had to look a certain way, particularly in relation to their weight. Um, but I think that as time has progressed, men definitely feel that with social media now.
Yeah.
I, I know that definitely affects men in their teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, upwards. Um, and this idea of perfection that you were saying is a complicated one because AI is making this now even more difficult to kind of judge as to whether or not you're looking at something which is, well, first of all, is that a real image? Secondly,
Hmm.
something which is, if you wanted to achieve it, achievable, which most of the time it isn't.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, it's a crazy again, I said, this love-hate relationship. Sometimes I'll go onto social media and think, what on earth am I doing on it? No, it's just winding me up. So yeah.
Okay. Next question. Let's do it. Hey, Stuart from England. Next question is which movie had a big influence on you?
God, let me have a think. I can remember watching E.T.
Mm.
actually on pirate video in late '82. I think it had been released in the States but hadn't reached the UK at the time. And we sat and watched it as a family. There was me, my mum, and my sister, and all three of us were in floods of tears,
Oh,
absolutely bawling our eyes out. And so I think that had an effect in the sense it was the first film that I got really emotional to. Um, I mean, I would cry at soppy films when I was much younger, things like Lassie, especially if there was an animal that was in peril in a film, I would cry at that. But there was something about E.T. And I think because we were watching it as a family and everyone was crying, that there was this
wow.
big effect on you. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. My goodness, just realized now that I didn't thought of that it came out in 1982, the first one. The year when I was born.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's funny. I never realized that. As you mentioned about family, about my God, what an amazing story! Like all of you watching this classic, and I get emotional. Which person in your family you are more close to, besides your partner?
Um, well, I lost my mum when I was 17,
Oh,
so I was still quite young. She was very young. My dad died coming up to 20 years ago now, so I only have my sister left. My sister is a really unique woman. She's very she's very strong-willed. She's very creative. There are some things where I think, my God, we're like chalk and cheese. We're so different. And then there are aspects of our relationship we are so in tune with each other. I know it's a bit cliche to say you know what the other one is thinking, but with me and my sister, we really are on that kind of, excuse me, line sometimes where I know what she's thinking, I know what's going through her head, and she does.
mhm. Yeah, I have a sister as well, and I understand. I think this connection between brother and sister can be tricky, can be challenged, tricky, beautiful, emotional. I think it's a mix of feelings through the years. Yeah.
I love her dearly. She can be as crazy as me. We've always had a really bizarre sense of humor. So there are things I can say to my sister and she'll say to me that other people would look at and think, "What on earth are you going on about?" But I always know my sister will get it. Yeah,
I can see her now watch this interview right now and smiling.
I hope so.
Next question. Right, before the next question, as you mentioned at the beginning of the interview about your career as a policeman. So, walk me through a little bit. Tell me when the opportunities came along. And the other part of the question is, how was for you being a gay policeman? Were you out at the time? How was your journey?
Well, I got into policing in a bit of a strange way. I was doing some part-time teaching, and I ended up teaching a group of police officers when I was 22. Um, and during the course of one of the lessons one evening, I just said, "Oh yeah, I wanted to be a policeman when I was a kid, and I think I might have wanted to be a policeman when I was about 13 or 14, but that literally was it." So I opened my mouth, and one of the people I was teaching was a chief inspector, and he said to me, do you really want to do it? I said, yeah, lying through my teeth. And he said, well, look, we'll have a chat afterwards and we can discuss, if you wanted to join. So I did, put in an application, did the interview process. I was successful in that. And I don't immediately think I'd thought it through fully. And being gay in the police was hard. So I joined in 1993. So we had nothing like the sense of equality that we have now. Also, very much still in the middle of the AIDS crisis and pandemic. And so one of the things that a significant number of police officers would think about if the subject of gay men came up was whether or not they would be HIV positive. So that, dominated conversations and was always spoken about very negatively. I did come out when I came out fully when I was 33, I think. And I had told a few individual officers, predominantly women, that I worked with. I was in the Metropolitan Police, and we had a number of gay women. And I tell you something, those women stood by you. They really did. So I always take my hat off to those colleagues I had in the earlier years who were gay women. But it was difficult, and even after coming out, you'd still meet and come across some absolute stupidity, that sometimes really took your breath away. But I think that can be in any aspect of your life, socially, professionally. Um, you're always going to come across people who really speak without ever thinking about what they're going to say, and before they've opened their mouth, and they'll say something stupid, offensive, and to begin with, I never used to actually correct them. I didn't stand up for myself. But you get to an age again where you just think, I've had enough of this, and you say something.
Amazing. Thanks for sharing. I think it's interesting to to share your story because I think nowadays I don't know if you agree with me, but I think nowadays, for example, when I see gay prides, when I see gay movements around or celebrations, there are always policemen there, and I've got them supporting. And actually, I know gay guys who are policemen right now, and also I had a gay policeman on the show like a while ago. He's still as a policeman. I think it's interesting to see the change. And as you said, at the time, of course, the 80s, 90s was a different mentality as we are right now. And I think things getting better and more supportive. I think it's a better place than before for sure. That's how I see.
Oh yeah, I mean it's definitely better than when I joined. I think we have to be careful that we don't take steps back. And
Mm-hmm.
I think the current climate in Britain is such that we could end up going backwards rather than taking more steps forward. Um, but that's the responsibility of everyone. It's not just the police or the gay community. Everybody's got to make sure that they don't end up just going backwards.
On a side note, when you were wearing your policeman outfit, you know what I mean, uniform, guys were kind of, after you, like trying to get you.
Uh, Not that I was aware of. I do like the fact people say outfit. I remember one time someone said to me, "Where do you keep your police costume?" I'm like, "It's not a costume. It's a uniform that you have to wear for work." Um, it was funny when you would see yourself in uniform because to you that was what you wore every day. So the idea of it being in some way sexy or titillating wasn't immediately there in your head, because you knew that you had to do all your work in it, and it didn't matter whether or not that was patrolling the street, interviewing someone, dealing with some drunken idiot who was ready to throw up somewhere, or so that soon became something that you put on and you were like, I'm at work.
Imagine how lucky your partner is. Like at home, and you come home wearing your uniform.
Well, I have to disappoint you there, I'm afraid, because I would come home in the shirt, but the rest of it stayed at work. Um, Most police officers, they would clean their shirts, but other bits of the uniform you had to have like dry clean, and they probably weren't the cleanest of people. So you might find an officer who'd been wearing, say, their patrol trousers for a good couple of months before they got dry cleaned. So um, I
I'm
think
just
it
I'm just teasing you, actually.
was there for other people, but wasn't immediately there for yourself. And I never went on duty and thought, "Cool, look at them!" Like, whoa, 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 because I'm like, well, I'm wearing the same clothes as them. So yeah.
Next question for you is: when was the last time that you cried, and why?
Oh, geez.
Imagine since you watched the ET. I'm joking.
Let's have a think.
Do you cry easily?
It depends. It depends on my frame of mind. I actually was thinking about my mum close to the date that she passed away, which unfortunately was at Christmas. And was thinking about her last year at one point, and I got a little bit upset. I still
Hmm.
think, that I was just becoming a man at that time. I was 17, and she didn't see any of my adult years. So sometimes I think about that, and I always want to celebrate my mom. She was an amazing woman.
Hmm.
Um, so I always think of, her memory, keeping it alive in a very positive way. But then there's other times when I think, oh God, I really wish she was there. Wow.
Wow. And as you mentioned, that she sadly passed away when you were quite younger. What's the best memory when you think about her that comes to your mind?
Um, Probably. I know this might sound really crazy, but she had a really good sense of humor as well, and she was
Uh-huh.
a woman who was really ahead of her time. Um, we came from like a Irish Catholic sort of family on my mum's side, anyway.
Hmm.
And I remember watching Young Frankenstein. It's funny how you say about a film that has a real strong impression on you. I remember watching Young Frankenstein with my mum, and we were just in bits, absolutely. We thought it was so funny. So there are certain things, I can remember about her, days out. But that evening, just watching that film, we were really relaxed. My sister was at university, so I think my dad may have been out working. It was just me and my mum, and it was one of these things where I was at home with family, which I didn't massively get to experience with her much at all. But I really can, shut my eyes and just, remember that night really strongly.
Yeah, those memories, simple memories that happen to us, we always gonna remember. Somehow it comes sometimes like, oh my God, I haven't thought about that for years. And when it comes, it just warms your heart. That's how I see. Ready for another one?
Yeah, go ahead. Are you cool with me drinking my tea while you
Of
go?
course, absolutely. Let me see you drink your tea. The black tea I can see with milk.
Tea with milk and one sugar, I'm afraid. Yeah, so
Do you put milk before or after the tea?
after. Anyone who puts the milk in first is criminally insane.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, Stuart, because this weekend I've been celebrating my birthday. It was on Friday, so I've been celebrating. And yesterday I went with some friends for afternoon tea and for a celebration, and we were talking about that. And since I've been in England for the last 18 years, and since the very first time I'm from Brazil, when I came to England, I tried tea for the very first time with milk. And I was like, oh my God, really? Milk, tea with milk? Since then, I always drink tea with milk, never anymore without milk. And fun enough, the discuss about yesterday was about milk first or tea after. You know what I mean? And it was a lovely English friend, and he said, no, I think he said milk first. And I was like, no, I always put milk afterwards. First I put the tea, and I put the milk afterwards. And so I was discussing between us on the table, and I was the only one. Everyone else said, no, no, no. milk first and tea after. I said no, I'm gonna go with my somehow naturally for me. I put the milk afterwards.
Yeah, I think you should think about seriously ditching those friends because they don't sound like people you want to hang around.
Anyway, I'm glad you said that. It's I'm not completely wrong. Right, next question. Let's do it. Hey, next question for you is describe yourself in one positive word and one negative word only.
Positive word, I would say, oh, might be sounding arrogant, but considerate.
Okay.
Do I have to expand on that, or
Don't need to explain? Well, you can if you want to. Why not?
I just try and and always think things through and consider what I'm doing if it's going to have an impact on other people, and how it will impact them. A negative word, I'm probably now. I don't know whether or not the police made me this way, but I can be distrusting of people. Yeah, so I'm a bit what's probably the best way of describing it. And probably I hold back a little bit closed.
Hmm. And when you think about yourself, when you analyze yourself, what's the best part of being Stuart?
The people around me. So the best part of being me is my partner, my sister, my friends, some of my ex-colleagues, the people I get to meet through work. Yeah, so I think that's the best thing about being me. Yeah.
Amazing. Next question. Let's do it. Before the next one, tell me what's the best part of being a photographer?
Well, seeing people appreciate your work. So, obviously, there's so many different things that you can do in photography. You can do portraiture, you can do landscape. I mean, I like doing portraiture, and you can meet some fun people doing that. But if you take a picture of a beautiful scene, either a natural scene out in the countryside or a stunning building, I love architectural photography. It's never gonna complain about how it's been captured. Whereas people can look at photographs and go, "Oh, I don't like how I look in that," or "Look at my nose," and so you're like, "You look fine," that's how you look. And so people can sometimes be a bit demanding, whereas inanimate objects and natural scenes, don't demand anything of you. So you don't get as much money from some of that, but yeah, it's just easier to do.
Do photographer like landscapes, places, or people as well?
Well, I have done a lot of sort of portraiture. I've photographed people for sort of photographs of musicians, authors.
Mm-hmm.
I've done headshots for people. People want photographs for online profiles. And that's all good. And you can, if someone's prepared to go a little bit further, I just mean creatively, you can create pictures which are a bit different. With say male photography now, it is, in my opinion, a bit muchness. So not saying anything which is that different or groundbreaking. Maybe people don't want that. People might just want to be shot in a way that makes them look big, makes them look handsome, makes them look masculine. Talking about men, obviously women don't necessarily want to look that way. But if you look at a building and you look at how that building appears as the light changes in the day. I mean, it's often spoken about the golden hour in the morning and the one later on in the early evening. you know, you can catch things differently. So that's what I really love to do.
Next question is, what has been the lowest point of your life?
Oh, um, these subjects are massively um positive. I think losing my mum
Hmm.
just you know, beyond comprehension at the time. She died very, very suddenly. And without wanting to depress people who are going to watch this, it really was one of those. She was there, and within an hour, she wasn't. She had, and that's especially at that age, at 17,
Yeah.
really difficult to deal with. And at that time, you know, you're going through this extraordinary stage in your life where you're becoming an adult. Um, you don't know what to think or feel. So many things.
Hmm.
Brought up, I don't know if it was the same thing in Brazil, but I was raised Roman Catholic, and so being gay and being Catholic didn't really go hand in hand. Sorry, I've just been joined by one of my dogs here.
Please show me, who's that?
Molly, you're going to jump up. We're going to get up. So we got, you can probably see, there she goes. She'll probably jump up there now. Go on.
Oh, actually, I saw a picture with you with your neck, yours in your neck, she or him.
So that's a she. She's a white-haired dachshund. Her name's Molly.
Oh
Uh,
my, Molly. Oh, stay there, please. Don't go away.
she's coming at a good moment to lighten the conversation.
I was
So
about to say that, actually. I was about to say that to see how dogs. Oh, look, she literally. I got goosebumps now. Oh my God, she literally it's lying behind you, like look, just like by your side. That's the most beautiful moment. Oh my goodness.
it really is. So,
Wow. Wow, what a moment. I've got goosebumps everywhere in my body. I have no idea. Wow.
but yeah, I think that was um, well, that was so difficult to deal with. My other half had cancer in 2018, and on the day that he got diagnosed, that was a difficult day. So that was pretty kind of low because again, you just think, I don't want to swear, but you just think, what on earth is going to happen now? It's but you know, thankfully he's fine. He's been free of cancer for years now, so that's
Yeah, I think as you mentioned, my goodness, as a teenager, as you said, being gay, just not just that, but imagine this time of your life, you're literally get to know yourself. You're changing a lot of things in yourself. I remember 17 years old. My goodness, it's a lot of things going on in your mind that you don't even understand, and needs to face a tragic moment. I'm sure I'm sure it made you stronger. I'm sure it made the person you are right now. But for sure, at the time, you didn't know how to. I think nobody's ready for that. You know what I mean, for the situation. Anyway, and but on the flip side, when you think about the happiest moment in your life so far, like one of the latest, something that comes to your mind right now, what that would be?
so there's 2 days actually which are really ingrained in my memory as and in my life as the happiest. So when Ian and I we had our civil partnership in 2008, um, you know, and having so many people there, I had colleagues from work, had friends, family, obviously his friends, family, people from his work. And when I was growing up, you know, you just never thought you had that ability to be legally recognized as a person you are. This is my partner. You know, if anything happens, this is who you call, all everything that goes with having someone who you share your life with. Um, so that was a really, really special day. And we got some great gifts as well, as you do on a day when you get married. So that was good. And also on a really weird aside, we went to the Olympic opening ceremony in London in 2012. Um, I actually got the evening off work. I was working that evening and attended the opening ceremony. And there was a part of the opening ceremony where people who had lost family could submit photographs and would be part of the ceremony in some way. So when
Wow.
with my mum and dad, we had no idea in any way how this was going to be played out. But there was a segment in the opening ceremony, just very quickly, where Emily Sandé is singing "Abide with Me," and all these photographs started appearing on big screens in the stadium. And the very last photograph to come up was my mum and dad, and I just thought that that was
Wow.
just such a magical moment. It really was.
Goosebump again. Oh my God, Stuart, what an amazing story as well. My God, it's incredible. Life, as I said, life can be tough, but at the same time as well can be very beautiful and supportive, and it's the matter of life. Life, it's this roller coaster that we go through, all of us. Some of us, of course, have very more difficult times. Some of us have different situations, but in the end of the day, we are here and we are living and we are sharing. And I think I'm glad that to share this memory now. That for sure it's very special. Wow, amazing. 3 questions left for you. Let's do it. Oh my God, I'm so glad Molly came along and she's just standing right there just to comfort the interview. Beautiful. Next question is, if you had only 24 hours of life, what would you do?
Jesus. Um, so just 24 hours left.
Just 24 hours.
Oh, so there would be a certain amount of alcohol involved. My drugs history, because I was in the police, was very uh, non-existent. So it may involve a massive, big alcohol-filled orgy. I'm very lucky that I've achieved a lot of things I wanted to do. Um, and I think literally, if you had it in your head that you've got 24 hours, well, I wouldn't want to just sit down and think, well, let's count these hours down. I'd probably make the most of it.
Wow, it would be like a very intense orgy. Oh my God, like 24 hours, I think everyone would know that it was less 24 hours, so everyone would be like, okay, so let's make that happen like in the best way ever.
Very sleepy part of England, so I don't know how easy it would be to organise. It might end up just being just being me. So we'll have to see. You never know.
No, I think I think you would have time to organize that with time, and it would be like a very unforgettable one. You'd go to another place, like feeling very, I don't know, happy or satisfied. I don't know. It would be a lot of feelings that would be prepared. 2 questions left. Let's do it. Before the next question, through your career as a policeman, tell me a moment that you're never gonna forget. Like something that you go like, you know what? Actually, in two parts. Something that made sad, something that you go like, okay, that's something that I'll always remember for any reason, if you can share, of course. And the other part is something funny or unexpected, something that you know what? This situation always gonna be, on my memory.
So I worked at Diana's funeral in
Oh,
19, and that was a very odd occasion because you felt like part of something, which I don't think people here have experienced before. It was a strange day working at the funeral. Just there was so much about it that was quite surreal. You thought, whoa, this is like a otherworldly experience. People were very, very emotional. And when you're amongst so many other people who are visibly crying, really upset. It's actually quite contagious, and you don't realize, I could see this in the crowd of people in front of me when Diana's coffin went past. You just saw her. If a couple of people started crying, it was infectious. Everybody was in front of you. I mean, literally. And you've got to stand there and hold it together, and you've got to stand there and be like, oh, I've actually got to, keep my calm here and keep my cool and concentrate on my job, which is to make sure nothing happens, nothing untoward. And everybody in front of you is in tears. So I'll always remember that day because it was a very long day. We were bussed from location to location. I was taken to Kensington Palace and was in the grounds of the palace when Elton John was in Westminster Abbey singing Candle in the Wind. And again, you were there and the service was being relayed on speaker systems and on TV systems. And everyone started crying again. And you're like, oh, it was so strange. As for positive things, I could look and think maybe I did something at that time that affected somebody's life for the better. Maybe you were just purely by being there. Someone felt safe, someone felt confident, someone was handling a situation that was the worst thing that had ever happened in their life, and you were there trying to make a difference and make it better for them. Because as you said before, life can be awful, can be true, and you don't immediately ever finish work and go, yeah, look at me, look at what I did that day, because that would be wrong. But you did sometimes think, okay, that was good work. And individually, as a group of people, you did something that made a difference.
Amazing. Okay. Next question is, what's the most dramatic argument you ever had?
It could be professionally, I suppose. Dramatic in the sense I was on duty one day and I was approached by, and I was in a situation where I was dealing with a vehicle that had broken down. It was a busy day in the centre of Mayfair. It was crazy. I had someone who is quite well known in the UK come up and try to tell me what to do and try to tell me how to do my job. And with all due respect to this idiot, they were getting in my way and they were stopping me from doing my job. And also they were doing something which a lot of policemen don't like, in that they were pointing out the bleeding obvious, which I was quite aware of, strangely enough, when I was there doing my job. So that did descend into a dramatic argument, I suppose, in the sense that the last thing I expected when I was on duty that day was to get involved in an argument in the street with this individual, who I won't name, but yeah, that was quite funny.
Interesting. Last question, ready?
Go ahead.
Let's do it. Last question, Stuart. All right. Last question is, which question you don't have an answer for?
Oh, God. What question don't I have an answer for? Probably, if someone asks you to define love, what is love?
I didn't hear properly what you say, Stuart.
I think if someone was going to ask me, what is love? Define love. Tell me what love is.
Mm-hmm.
Because, it is going to mean so many things to so many different people.
Yeah.
What I have with my other half, some people would probably think, well, that's not what, we would want to do. That's not the direction we would go in. but you know, it's us, and so I think, yeah, you know, I look at friends of mine or my family and think, you know, why are they with that individual? You know, why are they with that person? But you know, if love exists in those people's lives, then and you can't define it, then it's always going to be something that's just gonna, well, I'm never going to know really what is going on there with those people. I can definitely feel it for myself and experience it myself, but telling other people what it is or how to would be
Good, good. I agree with you. I think love is very personal. Love can go different directions. Love can be something that for you maybe it doesn't mean the same, but if for the pair it's very personal. If for you means love, why not? If you feel good about it, if you feel these butterflies, if you feel these emotions inside, hurt as well. Love can hurt, can be, painful as well. Why not? That's what you feel. Love is very personal. That's my idea. Stuart, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell me one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking.
okay.
Let's start with money.
Um, just one word.
Just one word.
Um, complicated.
Family.
Complicated.
I knew you'd say that for some reason. I knew it. One word for fear.
Ah, confront.
Okay. One word for life.
For life. Um, fulfilling.
Okay. Love.
Fulfilling as well. Or actually, what's for love? Um, momentous.
One word for sex.
I could go with complicated again there, but actually, no, I'd go for um, fulfilling.
Okay. Religion.
Pointless.
Politics.
Troubled.
Friendship.
Important.
Desire.
Complicated again.
Yeah. Regrets.
Regrets. Necessary.
Success.
But individual. It's personal. It's
Yeah.
individual. Yeah.
Wish.
Peace.
Happiness.
Attainable. It's yeah.
I like that. One word for London.
What's for London? Oh God, that's a good one.
Say again?
Crazy.
Crazy. Okay, I got it now. I said you said Cockney. I was like, okay, it's London.
He goes for one bit.
One word for England.
England. Oh, troubled.
One word for photographer.
Oh, God, that's a good one as well. One word.
For photography. One word.
That's a statement.
And the last one, a policeman. One word.
Just one word for policeman. Respect.
I like that. Actually, one more. One word for Molly. Lie down behind you. One word for her.
2 words. Can I do that? Always hungry.
Always hungry.
Always hungry for her. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. How old is she?
She's 7. No,
Seven.
yeah. Oh, prime of her life. Really. So yeah, 7 years old.
Oh,
One other dog. Ted, and he's a Westie. He clings. He's like my other half. He never leaves. So yeah, he's a real um. He really threw himself to England.
I think Molly is going viral, and the whole world is watching Molly sleeping by your side. Imagine, wow.
Because everyone goes, like, ah, she's so beautiful, she's so pretty, and yeah, so he loves the attention.
Yeah, she's the right place. Let's pretend I'm going to meet your lovely partner for a coffee, and I'm going to ask him what is the most beautiful thing about Stuart, and what's something that he still needs to work on to improve on. What he would say.
Still needing to work on. Sometimes I can be quick-tempered with other people, so I really don't like stupidity in people. Um, and that can kind of be across the board. It can be when they're ignorant about social norms, ignorant about, showing respect, or, just serving other people. So I find that I can be really cynical about how people behave sometimes, and can be quick to sometimes say something. So that is definitely, a fault of mine. Uh, as for what you'd say, the best thing about me, did you say the best thing, or?
Yeah, something beautiful about you, something unique about your personality that makes him smile.
Um, Hopefully that I love him, I love my family and my friends, and I would hope that he and they all know how important they are as well. So I hope that he would think that was my best feature.
They're lucky to have you around, sharing your love. Let's play now, Stuart, and the magic box, and you can ask me a question. Hey, Stuart, you can ask me a question now.
Okay, well, I did have one question in mind, but as the interview has gone on, seeing as you didn't actually know about my previous career, so my question would be to you: if you were the Commissioner of Police in London, and if you were in charge of policing territorially in some way, what would be the first thing that maybe you would change or look to change?
My God, what a question! You know what? The interesting thing about my opinion about policemen, like in England, London, the British, police is. Um, I always had. I read once somewhere that I think was social media saying that the best chefs they are in Italy, the best something they are somewhere, and they said the best police in the world they are in England, in London. I was like, oh my God, that state is to it stayed in my head. Good question. You put me in the spot now, and I love being the spot steward. You put me now. I'm gonna be very honest to you, very very honest. I think I wouldn't change anything because as a foreign person living in London, I think that I always feel safe. For some reason, I feel safe being in London. Not because of this statement I saw somewhere, but I always had this feeling that there's always policemen everywhere. There's always, I don't know. And I tell you why, because, of course, living in a big city like London, no, of course, things happen. Like, that police, they cannot cope or they cannot, be everywhere. But at the same time as well, I always had this impression that as whatever I am in London, places there's always a police car passing by for like it just come up from nowhere, and even like walking, I see policemen walking everywhere, like in the tubes or in the buses, sometime, or in the streets in local communities. That sometimes like, oh my God, that's interesting to see. So you've been there for sure. You have different point of way of seeing things, but for me, from outside, I'll tell you from my heart, I always felt safe, and I feel like that statement that I saw a few years ago about the best policemen in the there in England. For me, it made sense, and it still makes sense because and again, I've been in gay prides, I've been in places where I had, see, I remember once I was in one of the gay prides and I saw the policemen, like they were working, they were on duty at the same time as well. I think they had a flag, a gay flag or something around the uniform or something, and they were literally like in the vibe as well. People, they were stopped then, and they were taking pictures. You could see they were working, but you could see that they were at the same time as well supporting and enjoying, But not just that, apart from, the gay community, but I always felt safe, for being in London. That's I always knew that there are police everywhere. They are, So I don't know. It's a trick question for me because, I'm sure maybe when I hang up the call, I'm gonna keep thinking. I go like, oh my God, maybe I would say that. But right now, at this moment, I, as a person who lives in London, as a foreign person, I always felt safe, and I still feel safe knowing that, the police are around and they are support somehow. And again, I'm sure they're not there, as you said, very well, there are things that maybe could be improved somehow or different ways. But for me, as from outside, I can tell that I just been safe. Yeah, so that's my honest answer to you is that if I'll change something, maybe for one day I had a course training at a police, you know what I mean? Maybe on a I don't know, opportunity to be around to see how the way they work and everything. I think I would maybe have a different answer. But right now at this moment, I think it's something that I would I see with positive eyes regarding the Metropolitan Police or the police around England or in London. So yeah.
Good. I mean, that is, that's nice to hear. So that's cool.
Yeah. Did you enjoy the interview?
Been great. It really has. I've sat here, I've had a full cup of tea, I've been joined by one of my dogs. It's been great talking to you. So yeah, very, very good.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad we had this interview today and we talk about it and you've shared so much personal events in your life. At the same time as well, lovely Molly just joined in the right time. She made me got goosebumps around my body. She got this very emotional moment, and I think I think we just made memories now, and I'm so glad that we had this moment. So thanks so much for taking the time. I know we are so busy with our lives nowadays that when somebody takes their time for us, I think it's a good thing. So I appreciate your time. But before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Well, first of all, thank you, to yourself. Thank you for inviting us. It is always nice to do something different. It's not something which is out of my comfort zone, but I didn't have any. I've seen after you got in touch with me, I saw a number of your interviews, so I half knew what to expect, but didn't know how it would be personally kind of tailored to me. And a message to everybody else, be considerate, be tolerant, think about what other people are going through, and realize that, unless you are doing something completely illegal, immoral, be the best person you can be and look after each other. Definitely do that. Look after your friends and family because that's the main thing in life.
Amazing. Very good. Regards to your partner, to your sister, to your friends. Bye, Molly. She's sleeping. Oh, she wake up. Thank you so much. Thanks for taking the time, and we keep in touch, okay, Stuart? It was a pleasure, okay? Enjoy your Sunday.
The very best, and good luck with your future interviews. All the best for it.
Take care, okay?
See you later.
Bye-bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why do you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.